So Fire Emblem Engage came out about a week ago. It's a new entry in the Fire Emblem series. It's kind of like it's been divisive in a way that appeals to me, which is quite rare. That you're like, when you read the negative reviews of a game, you're like, oh, that makes me want to play this more. So, like, Fire Emblem since Awakening on the 3DS has kind of been chasing the romance and social systems more and more to, like, varying degrees of effect. I really enjoyed it in Three Houses because that game had the twist of, like, you get to know all of those characters, you learn to love some of them, and then you kill them in the back half of the game when the three factions split into separate parts, and the back half of that game is fighting the other factions. So there's a bunch of characters you would have fought alongside and talked to in the kind of school area, and then by the end of it, you're killing them. And that had like weight and pathos to that game. I thought it was a pretty cool way to do it. But like they're still chasing the best way they've done it is still Awakening, where if you romance the character, there's a bunch of time travel nonsense in that game. So if you romance two characters together, that their child will come from the future to join your team, and that's really cool. Like that was always the highlight of that system, that like, yes, you have the social and the romance stuff, but also you get a new character from choosing who to romance who, and that character can be added to your team, and then you can romance the children, and that's all.
Okay, Garrett, okay, you've lost me now.
Not romance the children with the parents, romance the children among each other.
No, it's fine. It's fine. You've said the phrase "romance the children" on
they're
tape now.
Adult children, Dave.
That is the Michael Douglas film I never want to see, romancing the children.
But like that's what they've been chasing ever since. That really cool system of like romantic characters, kids come through, kids are fightable characters in your team. That was a really cool system, and they've been trying to like replicate that since. And this game, it still has a bunch of the social stuff. It still has a hub area that I've never actually gone back to. But for the most part, it's like a return to pre-Awakening Fire Emblem, where it's just like, here's a strategy map. You kill a bunch of enemies with a bunch of strategy gameplay that feels really good. And that thumbs up. I get why people, because it's a stark departure from Three Houses in particular, which is the most successful Fire Emblem game. So it's a very interesting choice for them to go, all right, so we have this game that people loved that does a very specific thing. What if its follow-up does something nothing like it? That's a bold choice, and one that does appeal to me more. So it is like it's just one strategy map after another. You drop your characters and you do your strategy gameplay and you have a great time, and it's still like Fire Emblem for me has always been the best in class in that genre, and it plays great. The story is, it's like Fire Emblem has always been anime adjacent, sometimes straight out anime. This one, it's not neon white bad, but it's in that stratosphere in terms of story, because it doesn't have like as much of the horniness. It has some of the horniness, and apparently more of the problematic horniness in Japan that has been localized out, that makes people mad, with suggestive dialogue that is actually romancing children.
Oh no.
Like it's some of the, oh, I'm under 18, I could never do that kind of stuff.
Oh god.
Is apparently in the Japanese version, but has
Garrett, I'll pay you a stipend not to use that voice again.
But that stuff,
don't ever say ooh ooh to me.
That stuff is,
I'll slap the taste out of your mouth, boy.
that stuff patched out of the English version. Naturally, it's made the worst people on the planet mad. They're like, no, give me my problematic romance choices, you deep sickos. They should be taken to jail. But all that aside, story nonsense, it's a real good Fire Emblem game at its core, and Fire Emblem's a good series.
A question I would ask, as somebody whose Fire Emblem experience is none, should I hop in on this or Three Houses? If I had to pick.
Ooh, like Three Houses is a very big game, and especially because like the gimmick of that is you choose the house and there's 3 different stories, and then spoilers, there's a 4th different story as well as a DLC story. So like that's the Witcher of strategy RPGs. There's hundreds of hours of content in that game, or this does seem like the more straightforward entry point kind of game, where you just like do your map and then you go to the next map and then you go to the next map, and it's all very simple and straightforward. So I'd say this is probably like the more approachable jumping on game, and then you get them like more detailed systems, more like intensive social stuff that's in Fire Emblem Three Houses.
And there would be no problem like with me starting at the new one and then going back to that. They're all kind of unrelated. Yeah,
because the gimmick of this one, the engage in the title, is you engage characters from previous Fire Emblem games. So you'll gain a little more if you like, you know who Marth is, but all like it's not.
I know who Marth is. He's great in Smash.
Yeah, most of the characters are the ones that are in Smash, so you'll be fine. But
Marth and Roy.
I do believe Roy is one of them.
Oh, Roy is the boy.
So yeah, the thing where you wear rings and then those characters help you in combat. That's kind of the new hook for the combat of this game. So you'll gain a little bit more of that if it's like, oh, it's the character I like a lot, but it's not essential.
Okay. Good to know, because it feels like it's one of the last of the big, huge, humongous franchises that is still going today that I've never really even attempted. I guess that and the Tales games, I've never gone into them.
Yeah, in this game, like there's been a lot of talk in recent years about how Switch games look. Some for a very good reason, some last year for a very good reason. This game looks really good. It's far better looking than Three Houses. It's a really good looking game, really good sounding game. So it's nice to just have a Switch game that you're not like, performance issues aside, it's actually fun. You don't have to do that for this.
Yeah.
It's just like, no, it's actually a really good looking sounding and playing video game.